Welcome back to History in Motion, proudly brought to you by Midas.
Before the break, I asked you a quick question. To remind you, the question was, when was the earliest known photographic record of a checkered flag being used to mark the end of a motor race? The answer, 1906 in the Vanderbilt Cup, held in Long Island, New York.
Next up, we have the Marlboro Crane Hire Historic Saloons Classes A to E. There has been a fair bit of action from this category in qualifying, and the contestants are now gearing up to do battle. We catch up with some of the drivers.
Hopefully it doesn't rain too much, just the drizzle. Changed to semi-slick, so hopefully it was a good move.
It's a chef Can-Am Forenza. They made 100 of them in 1974, so it's basically original but highly modified. Mike's very fast. I'll give it my best shot. I'm on old rubber, so I'll give it my best shot.
Let's take a look at the grid. Mike Schmidt leads out the pack in his 72 Ford Capri Piranha, with Anton Raths in second. Neil Reinecker lines up in fifth place with Dirk Venter alongside him. Peter van Nieuwenhausen in his Zack Speed Ford is 10th on the grid, with Sophos Pantasis in 12th. The lights go out and the race is on. It's Mike Schmidt who leads the field into turn one, with the Chef Forenza of Eugene Goos having a good start and following Schmidt through. As the field heads into turn two, the drivers are jostling for position. We go round Renix Khan with the iron on board of Dirk Venter, who goes late on the brakes trying to keep up with the top three. Venter's doing his best to keep it flat, but isn't enough as the Chef Can-Am of Neil Reinecker powers past the Capri. Onto the back straight, and we see the Gumtree Frankie's Capri of Mike Schmidt coming under pressure from Eugene Goos as they go through Castrol Edge and they run side by side up the hill. Next to each other, they approach Sassel. Goos dives down the inside of Schmidt as they go late on the brakes. But oh no, it seems like Mike Schmidt has left it a little bit too late and loses the back end as we see him trying to correct it and get back onto the track. He will be very upset about that for sure. Further back, we see Sophos Pantasis keeping ahead of the pack. Oh no, Dave Lation in his 77 VW Sirocco, who does a 180 and another 180. He will be able to rejoin the race, but he has created some work for himself. Into turn one, we follow Willem Fonk in his yellow Ford Escort Mark I as he chases down the more powerful Ford Capri of Jimbo Bennett. Bennett moves to the outside, but ends up getting out of shape and spinning out into oncoming cars. Meredith Willis dives onto the dirt in order to avoid Bennett, and he gets overtaken by the silver Volvo of Alan Poulter and Steve Trutter's Ford Escort. Bennett manages to get himself going again and rejoins the race. On board with the Ford Capri of Venter, as he seems to have lost all drive out of turn three, and that seems to be it for him as he moves off to the dirt and retires from the race. I'm sure that the team will work frantically to try and get the car ready for race two. Another driver is in trouble. It is the red Capri of Justin Ladner, whose problem is forcing him to retire. John McLaughlin and Wesley Rautenbach run side by side, but Rautenbach runs wide as McLaughlin dives down his inside. On board with Mike Schmidt, who is giving it his all to catch Goos, who is just ahead of him. Problems for Schmidt, though, as he goes farming into turn four, but keeps a cool head and gets back onto the track for now. But he has lost all the ground that he made up on Goos and will have to do it all again. Into turn 8, and we see our race leader lapping some back markers, and Goos goes for a gap to pass Poulter, and they end up bumping into one another. On board with Meredith Willis now as he chases down Isabel Raths in her 1969 Mazda R100. Sophos Pantasis in his Datsun leads Poulter, Raths and Fonk as they charge down to turn 8. Mike Schmidt is coming through the field trying to make up some positions. He makes his way through the slower cars as he attempts to try and make up some ground on Goos. Eugene Goos comes round the final bend to take the checkered flag waiting for him, and after an eventful race, he crosses the line, taking victory. Oh no, Steve Trutter loses it up at turn 5, but is able to rejoin the race. On board now with Anton Raths as he catches up to his wife in his 69 Mazda R100 as they cross the line to take the checkered flag. Great race from the historic Saloons A-E. Looking at the results, and Eugene Goos takes victory. Second goes to Mike Schmidt. Jannie van Rooyen took Class D honours, and Class E goes to Dion van Vuren.
There was quite a bit of oil on the track in the first lap. I got some oil into the top corner, tabletop. And then after that, I really just struggled. Trying to catch that canner, but it was very, very quick on the straights. He drove an excellent race. And we had a few little problems in the rear of the car, which gave us some problems with grip on the right-hand turns. I went off a couple of times. It was quite hairy. On the first occasion, it was oil. Second occasion, back markers. But, you know, it just adds to the fun, hey?
And what about race 2?
I'm going to win it.
I was having a fantastic race after a long layoff, and really, unfortunately, on the second last lap, I didn't realize that Eugene was coming so close, and of course, I closed the door on him, and he banged me hard. But it was exciting, most exciting.
And I came past him and I thought, Alan, with the experience he's got, obviously had a late night, and he closed the door on me, but you know, it was just one of those things. Like I said, it happened so fast.
On to race 2, and it's Eugene Goos who charges off the line, with Mike Schmidt hot on his heels as he wants to try and take first place after a dismal race won by his standards. As the cars head towards turn 2, Schmidt has wraths breathing down his neck as he tries to make up a position or two. On the exit of turn 2, Schmidt tries to move down the inside of Goos, but isn't able to make it stick. Heading up the hill, Alan Poulter has a look down the inside of Dion van Vuren, but has to pull out of the attempt as Van Vuren makes his car very wide, not allowing a gap. The battle of John McLaughlin and Wesley Rautenbach continues in race 2 as they ride side by side through turn 5 and 6, but Rautenbach gets pushed out wide and drops down a position, but he still does not want to give up the chase as he dives on the inside of McLaughlin as they head into turn 8, but he just does not have enough momentum out of the corner. Brendan Parker goes wide out of turn 1 and does some rally driving in his Datsun and returns back onto the track, but has a very close call with Gert Boertes, but no contact was made. We head to turn 5 and we see Alan Poulter under some pressure from Sofos Pantasis and Isabel Raths, and right behind them it's Willem Vonk and Meredith Willis side by side as they go through turn 5 and 6. It's the battle of the escorts, with Vonk in his Mark 1 trying to get past Willis in his Mark 2. As they head into turn 8, Willis has been able to get ahead of Vonk, and now McLaughlin looks to try and go on the inside of Vonk. Oh no, McLaughlin has a problem with his car as he enters turn 2. We rejoin our leader Eugene Goos as he tries to put cars behind him, as he tries to increase the gap between him and the man on the mission, Mike Schmidt. We jump on board now with Schmidt as he makes his way past the back markers and goes late on the brakes and catches a slide going into turn 2. He powers out of the corner, and this is where the V8s love to be, on a long straight to stretch their legs. The battle of the escorts between Vonk and Willis continues as the pair are side by side again heading into turn 8, but Willis goes late on the brakes and runs wide as he just misses the nose of Vonk. The Mark II Escort was a great rally car, and Willis shows this, but he needs to get back on the track to try stay ahead of Vonk. In the dust cloud, Poulter has snuck in and has overtaken Vonk. We head up to turn 5 now, and Jackie Morrison tries to look for any gap to move up a position, but he has Gert Boertes right behind him as well, piling on the pressure. We head onto the back straight and we see our race leader move towards the inside of the track to take turn 4. Oh no, Vonk and Goos hit each other, and Goos has gone flying off the track and slams into the wall. Willem Vonk looks to have beached his car in the kitty litter. Looking at the replay, and we can see how hard the impact is when Eugene Goos and Werner Vonk make contact. His car was slightly lifted up from the impact, and from then on, he just became a passenger, and this has forced him to retire from the race. Now we join our race leader, Mike Schmidt, as he makes his way round the final bend and take the flag. You can see from his waving that this win was rather important to him. Jackie Morrison goes too hot into turn 7 and slides onto the dirt and fights to gain control of the car as he attempts to get back onto the track. Brendan Parker leads that gaggle of cars over the line, closely followed by Gert Boertes. Sofos Pantasis leads the pack as Isabel Raths tries to drive round the outside of him, pushing too hard. Raths slides sideways and Van Vuren is forced to take evasive action, and the pair slide over the finish line. Taking a look at the results, and the win goes to Mike Schmidt, second Anton Roths, with Grant Duckham taking Class B victory. Sophos Pantazis won Class C and Janine van Rooyen Class D.
We had an amazing dice with Dion van Vieren, Isabel Roths, and Polter. It was us four, and it was, I must say, our times must be awesome. But the most amazing was the last 2 laps I drove without brakes, and I came first. I enjoyed it.
Fantastic race again with these guys, and we gave each other space, and we really had stuck together for 12 laps. Unfortunately, my friend Mr. Ghost came in and barged up on us, and that took the end of that.
We had a really good ride. Give each other enough space, don't damage our cars. Fantastic. I absolutely loved it.
It was an excellent race. We've got a rearview mirror. We didn't use it because we used only the side mirror because that's where everybody was all the time. Not at the back, but on the side or at the front. It was an excellent race. The corners we were next to each other but gave ourselves space. We had fantastic race. I think it's the best race I've ever had at Zwartkops, but not the best ending. Ending, unfortunately, somebody just thought you got a red mist on and just came in from the grass onto my vehicle and spoiled the whole race meeting.
After the break, there's racing from the 384 Sports and GTs and the 90-minute endurance race.